let's get to what we want to get to. We know a lot of you watching probably follow the crypto market and the cryptocurrency industry pretty closely here. But like I said, Bitcoin's value will likely hit $100,000 per coin on the back of the recent rally following Trump's victory in the election, even if its future beyond the key landmark figure remains uncertain. That's according to our folks there at MarketWatch that we rely on so heavily. Fox's Rebecca Castor, our friend there, has a look at this latest crypto boom. Let's watch.
Bitcoin is booming since the presidential election, up 40% in 2 weeks and hovering around the $100,000 mark.
We're just seeing kind of the tip of the iceberg when it comes to Bitcoin being adopted by Wall Street and Main Street.
And investors say Donald Trump's campaign promises to prioritize crypto are helping.
One of the biggest problems the crypto industry has had isn't the idea there's too much regulation. It's just the regulation's not even clear. I think we're finally going to get that clarity, which will help the U.S. lead again.
The president-elect, who was once critical of digital currencies, is now embracing them. He's promised to replace the current chair of the SEC, who's been a major roadblock for the crypto industry. And there's even talk of him appointing the nation's first ever crypto czar to spearhead digital currency policy.
This is a technology that affects all 11 sectors of the economy. It provides efficiency and digital payment systems, and we have to be competitive worldwide.
But Congress will need to get on board.
The American people have elected their very first pro-Bitcoin and crypto president of the United States and Congress. Over 250 members of the 119th Congress are pro-crypto.
Some analysts predict Bitcoin could double in value and hit $200,000 in 2025. But the coin is volatile, and its history shows its price can drop quickly. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
Rebecca, thanks so much. In the meantime here, we want to bring into the conversation now our friend there at the Heritage Foundation who knows all things federal budget policy. That's Richard Stern as well. He joins me. Richard, I wanted to talk about this with you because I think it's so interesting. Is it safe to still use the word volatile with cryptocurrency, or is it a firmer, more solid currency now that it's nearing Bitcoin, at least $100,000 per coin? Is the word volatile moot or not?
Oh, I think volatile always exists when you're dealing with things priced in the US dollar. Because, we saw massive inflation during Biden's presidency because of arbitrary government policy. So as long as Bitcoin is still secondary to the US dollar, it'll be volatile, but the housing market's been volatile, the stock market's been volatile. Really what you're looking at is the volatility, really the lack of certainty around the US dollar. So as long as that's a problem, that'll remain a problem.
Okay, also, Richard, I wanted to talk too. Can you draw a straight line from Trump's election victory to the very, very high price, the soaring record price of Bitcoin? Is the line a straight one?
Oh, absolutely. If not, it's exponential. So I think the important thing here to keep in mind is that there can be two types of money and only one or the other. Money can either be something created by the government, run by the government as a way for the government to steal your purchasing power by using inflation. We saw the Federal Reserve print trillions and trillions of dollars out of thin air, which caused prices to rise 20%. It caused the value of your money to drop 20%. That's one kind of money. The other kind of money, the kind we haven't really seen used for a long time, is money that you own. Money that is truly yours, that's not controlled by the government, that is not a tool of inflation to move your purchasing power to the government, but instead is a real store of value. That is what Bitcoin is. I think what you've seen for the first time in a century is an American president elected who supports that second kind of money. The money should be there to help you and to help you keep the value in your paycheck and your savings, and doesn't view money as a tool to be abused by the government at your expense.
So what is it within Republicans, politically, philosophically, that have made cryptocurrencies so appealing, to them? Usually something that's new and unorthodox is not necessarily welcomed by Republicans here. What do you attribute that to?
So I think the technology is clearly new, but the concept is as old as time itself. The concept is a decentralized currency that promotes freedom. I think what conservatives believe in more than almost anything else is a free society, that you should keep the things you earn, that you have control over your life, that you, your family, your community shouldn't be dictated to by a federal bureaucrat. For any number of technical reasons, it's hard to have a money that you can rely on, that you know isn't a forgery, isn't just a counterfeit. And so governments have created central banks that create a currency that while you know it is what it is, you don't have control over it. So for the first time in thousands of years, technology has given us a really good ability to have a product that can work like a currency, but promotes a free society. That's why conservatives love it so much.
Okay, you know, Richard, also Fox Business confirmed a report yesterday in Bloomberg that a source familiar with President-elect Trump's meetings with crypto industry leaders, Trump is looking to form a new White House position that focuses solely on cryptocurrency. If that does come to pass, what would that look like and what would they do? Do you think this is necessary? Does the White House need its own office solely focused on cryptocurrency?
I certainly think it could be a good thing. I'm always leery of the government creating new offices. I'm a fan of Doge, as you can imagine. But, you know, think of it this way. The Federal Reserve, the entire Federal Reserve, is kind of a special White House office for the US dollar. And so this is a countervailing part of that. I think it makes sense to have somebody who's dedicated to figuring out how to allow the economy to be free from a Federal Reserve that'll just print trillions of dollars, cause tremendous price inflation because of the abuse of the money supply. And so that transition, which is to say allowing people to freely use Bitcoin, other cryptocurrencies, other alternatives to the dollar, is going to take some time. It's going to take some thought. So I think it's a very good thing, perhaps, to have somebody and an office dedicated to this, to, again, liberating the American public, liberating the money supply.
So, Richard, I wanted to ask, too, about the SEC. We don't know yet who Donald Trump wants to be the next SEC commissioner, though we do know Gary Gensler, the current chairman, will be departing the role on Inauguration Day by January the 20th. What will Gensler's legacy be with regard to crypto and Bitcoin? Will he be seen as a friend or foe of the crypto market?
So I think he and the Biden administration before him have been tremendous enemies of this new technology. Now, you might look at this and say, well, but under this stead, we've had the approval of the first ETFs that track Bitcoin and Ethereum, et cetera. But this has been done grudgingly. They've done this because they've seen how the market's changed, how technology has gone, that people want this. It's not because they've embraced the technology. And I think at the end of the day, what you've seen here is what I was saying at the beginning. Money can either be a tool of government to control your savings and turn them into their savings, or money can be something that preserves the hard work you've put in to earn your savings. This administration, Gensler, all of these people don't support you. They don't want you to be able to keep the value you've worked hard to earn. And so they've mostly been opponents of this new technology because they've seen it as a tool of liberation. And tragically, they don't want you to be liberated. They don't want you to keep the value you've worked hard for.
Richard, also, though, let's just talk about Bitcoin itself here. Do you anticipate it will keep going up, or will there be some type of calamitous, precipitous drop here? I mean, I know you don't offer advice to those who are thinking about, buying Bitcoin, but should you be bullish or bearish on it right now? I mean, clearly it's gangbusters, but volatile, that word again, is hanging over it, right?
No, absolutely. And I think you're right. It's hard to be confident in any bet. And part of that is, frankly, you've got the government involved in all this. But, I'll tell you this, though, right? Bitcoin is the beginning of this revolution. That's why it's gone up so much in value. It's why it's got the largest market cap. My bet is it probably is going to continue to do that. Let me give you, I think, an example like this. And for people at home saying, I still don't understand what this technology is, think of each Bitcoin like a painting done by Rembrandt. And so imagine, if you will, and we're not at the 21 million cap on total Bitcoins, but imagine, if you will, that Rembrandt had done 21 million paintings and only. And you could look at it and uniquely say, that's a Rembrandt, that's another one over there. That's what Bitcoin is. And so Bitcoin will always have been the first major one, the first new renaissance of this ability to have decentralized, knowable, verifiable currency. And so in that regard, my guess is it's probably going to continue to hold that value and go up because of that prime position, frankly, not just in our moment now, but as a breakthrough in human history, something we haven't seen in thousands of years.